town, so you get me tonight. All right, let's start by observing a few moments of silence. Amen. We welcome everybody that came out on this, ended up not too bad day. So welcome, glad you're here. And we'll start by adopting the agenda. Would anybody like to do that?
I so move.
Moved by Commissioner Alexander. A second?
A second.
Okay. Commissioner Dasher. And now is your time to have dialogue. If you want to talk and get answers, now's the time to do it when we have our meeting. Thank you, Angie. I'm glad you're here. All in favor of adopting this agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Nay? Okay. Now, you may participate if you'd like. When we start our meeting at 6, will not be for two-way dialogue, so now's your time. Anybody have any comments? Wade?
Good afternoon. Wade Burns, architect, 779 Foreman Siding, Montree, Graybeard, ETJ. I'm here at the request of Richard Hitch, son of the late Reverend Dooley Hitch, who, if you were here as well as I was, you would have known he was very active in Montree and lived at his home on Virginia Road right at the intersection of Alabama Terrace. And so he and his wife, Debbie, have planned to move from Texas here this year. And so they are putting together plans to do that and be permanent residents with us here. They're doing an addition to the house. There'll be more tax base and so forth. And one of the items on there is the existing railroad tie retaining wall that wraps around that long property on that thing. And so it seemed like 2 months ago, I was trying to get the information to the commissioners because it involves the possibility of abandoning right away where that wall can be put up, because it's around a $50,000 plus wall to put in. And then there was questions about procedure and so forth, and then the town attorney and so forth, and so it was put together for this month's meeting, but town attorneys put it off till next month. As I understand it, next month, not tonight, but next month, you'll get a request in part of your package to abandon certain right-of-way for this move to take place and this wall to take place. And as I understand it, nothing will happen then other than you'll vote to advance the possibility for the April meeting, and then there have to be some public hearings with people associated with the right-of-way and so forth. And because there are a couple of layers to it, I wanted the commissioners to have any information they wanted as early as possible. And so, sorry. And so it's, Angie has everything and Kayla has everything, but it won't be in your package till next month. So I brought copies I can give to anybody who would like one between this meeting and the next, so you'd have this. That's it. And then I'll be available anytime to meet with any of you, anywhere, Huckleberry or otherwise, to look at this, because it involves right-of-way, which is important to all of us, and so forth. And that's my comment. The second comment is I am just astounded at our progress, but how painful that progress is in recovery. And, you know, the whole world had COVID, and now we've got this other thing, and it's like COVID. The calendar just gets away from us. We can't get stuff done because there's too much stuff to get done. And we're just so lucky that we have some folks that grew up in Black Mountain, Angie, and Barry, and they've just Barry's pulled together these resources like other towns haven't been able to do. And by some sort of miracle, the lake filled up last night. And we're gaining on it. And one day, Commissioner Alexander will be able to park in front of her house again. What year that will be is unknown, but anyway, even though I'm only expatriate, I'm grateful for everything that's being done here. Thank you.
Thank you, Wade. We'll be hearing more about that. But I have one question. Don't you have to go to the Board of Adjustment first for setbacks?
No, that was part of the confusion. Could you send us to if the right-of-way request is granted, there's no need for any setback variances. Everything will fit.
Okay, gotcha.
Thank you.
Okay, any other comments? Please come up, Shirley.
So I'm Shirley Mitchell, 201 Harmony Lane. I thank God we're back in the building, and I thank each of you that you're willing to serve. Your time is your life, and I'm very grateful. I have a praise report on Barry Kriesman, and I don't know if he's going to be here tonight, but a month ago, I planned to be at the meeting, and you may remember all of a sudden it was snowing and all this mess, and I was in this horrific line at Ingalls and didn't get here. But I had written him the night before, and I said that I'd read the notes of the meeting for last month and didn't see where the asphalt would be placed. It was some general statement, and I just said maybe I missed it. He wrote me back at 1 in the morning, Tuesday morning, and he just said, I did not break out each area or list each site for repairs in the quote due to the amount of damage in the town that would be extensive. Point being, he was so responsive. We've really got a great jewel in that. And then my husband is those of you who know him, he's very peaceable, and I'm more the troublemaker. But I have a comment, perhaps worthy of discussion, and I would call it a cultural clash. And that is that many of the workers in the town are speaking Spanish, and many of them don't speak any English. And so the culture class is they really enjoy working with their music. And so far this year it's been fine, but Tom knows of what happened over a year ago with us when we could hear everything inside the house. I don't know if it's worthy of any discussion or not. My husband said these people are trying to work. Anyway, I'm bringing it up because good weather's coming. You know, we might want to be on our porches in the quiet, and other workers might want to work better with music. I just throw it out there. So far, all of the workers up on our street this year, I've even liked their music. It's been low. Anyway.
Thanks, Shirley. I guess we can take your issue up as it comes.
Well, and I hope it doesn't come.
Yeah, may not.
You know.
Okay, any other comments? Dependable Tom, nothing? Of course. Yeah.
Tom Frist, 98 Frist Road. Since there's no one else has any real big issues, and I've already talked with the chief about this, but I would like to understand the power of or the process and the power of the town council, of the government, to deal with setbacks, you know, on the road where you don't want to get people in trouble. But there are some places where the walls and people parking in front of rentals really block the road. And what is the solution to that that's fair to everybody? Can the town enforce the homeowner to get rid of the wall and make the parking more accessible, push it back into their property? Or just, I'm interested in what the process and what the powers are.
Well, I mean, I'll give a first answer, having served on the Planning and Zoning Commission and being a little bit familiar with the issue. We didn't have zoning in Montreat until sometime in the 1980s, as I recall, and a lot of Montreat was built out by then. And when we imposed zoning, part of that whole regulation were, I think the setbacks came in about the same time. And other building requirements as well as the zoning. So for walls and buildings that encroach on what the modern setback lines, they're grandfathered in. And so there's nothing the town can do. Anything since the law was passed, anytime anybody had to build anything, they have to come in, file a building permit. Our zoning department checks it, and it's got to meet the setback requirements before they're built. So I guess what I'm telling you is most of what you see that look like violations there probably are grandfathered. That's not for sure. Somebody could have built something and not gotten their permit. But if they've gotten their permit and built it within the last 40 years, it should comply with setbacks. But if it was earlier than that, they're grandfathered in.
What happens if it causes an actual problem? I mean, people passing, that you pass by with that amount of space.
You know, that still doesn't make it a violation of a setback requirement.
Okay, thank you. That's what I was.
Maybe our police chief
Yeah,
would
the
like
town,
to
I would say
address
the police force is the place to go.
Yeah, well, that's what I did, just to look at it.
Angie, you had
So
something
I
to?
was just going to tell you that if you have a safety concern, like if emergency vehicles can't pass or anything like
They
that,
couldn't.
always call the police department.
Okay, thank you.
Mason,
Do you have any, let me ask police chief Jeff, do you have anything else to say?
Angie's pretty well covered what I aim to say. I mean, you certainly, if there's a no parking zone indicated, you can't park there. If you're obstructing responsible emergency process vehicles, please call. But we would encourage you sometimes, for instance, run into situations where you've got a contractor doing repairs or working in your home, and temporarily they'll park a vehicle in the roadway because there's just no other place to park. And I would assume if it's your home, you want someone to do work there. So as long as they're on site and vehicles can get by, and or they could move the vehicle immediately if something was to come through, that's kind of something we tend to overlook. However, if there's a vehicle parking there and blocking the way, please call Buncombe County Communications, 828-250-6670, or you can call the town and go through the tree, which is, I believe 6 for the chief and 7 for the on-duty officer. Helps us out when you call communications because it's documented. There's a lot of benefits to that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Tom, does that answer your question?
I have Tom, is it happening often at that same spot? Yeah. We may want to see if they have parking off the street. And what we've done on Lookout, we've put up no parking where it got real narrow. So that might be something we'd look into.
Mason, can you just give a quick overview of the setback versus the right-of-way? We have a lot of residents, I wouldn't say a lot, there are a number of residents, though, who have set up their own signs that say private parking, and it appears that they are on the right-of-way.
Right.
What's the difference?
Well, first, let me just, first, those folks are breaking the law. They don't have the right. In fact, there's actually something in the code that says you can't do that, although it's overlooked. I'm almost positive there's something in the code. They certainly don't have the right to do it, and I believe it's actually against something in the code. The right-of-way is public, period, and anybody can park there. Montreat is unique in that in a lot of places, you can't park on residential roads, or you can only park on designated residential roads. You know, Montreat, you can park freely on almost any residential road, as long as, you know, there's not a safety issue with it. But to prohibit somebody parking in a spot that's tough, Commissioner Alexander is correct. Then we simply pass an ordinance establishing a no parking area. And once we do that, then nobody can park there. And so that's been done in the past on Lookout, as she said, also by the tennis courts have done that. Yeah,
And also on Appalachian.
yeah. But up there on Texas where they've got those private road signs, unless there's something that some commission passed sometime that that I'm not aware of, all those signs are improper and should be down. And nobody can prevent anybody from parking in the public right-of-way, including, let me say, college students. And so we have a lot of college students utilizing public property, and of course with the college not paying any taxes, I'll point out. But that's the law, public right-of-way, the public can use it.
Okay, other comments?
Because in 25 years I've been here, about a third of the time I've been on the planning commission, and before that I was on those in Atlanta. Here's two little things that have come up in that. On Texas Road across from the tennis courts and some other places, they've created a wall into the bank, I'm assuming with permits and so forth, that created enough space for them to get most of their car in. And there are some parallel spaces across the tennis court in Texas. And so they were able to get their cars, half their car is on their property, the other half isn't. So they figured that they could put up a sign for their parking only, because if you didn't park half on their property, you were in the road. And so that's where I think those signs came from on Texas.
Even the ones on the other side of the road?
Yeah, no, the ones on Texas on the side opposite the tennis courts. So there's two where they pull straight in, part of that's on there, and there's one or two something across from the Kindy's area that they park parallel to the road, and they get it off the road enough that two wheels are on their property, and so they put those signs up that way. And the other item is that an awful lot of areas, like on North Carolina, past near Convocation Hall, the Kimballs are always parking in the road. And there's plenty of space that's right of way, big long turn as you go around the North Carolina, going down past Convocation Hall. There's a whole lot of right of way there. The Kimballs could build a wall in the right of way so they could park off the road. But they, would pay for it themselves, but they would have to sign an agreement to take it out if the town told them to take it out later. And so I've signed that agreement, others have signed that agreement. I know in the case of the Hitch, because it's a $50,000 wall, it could be built in the right of way, but they're not willing to put $50,000 into something that the next day they could be told to remove the thing at their expense. And so that's one little thing you might consider as to when it is that you have to use that provision, that you must agree to take it out if the town is in a position to realize they really never would want to do that. But I'm sorry. But anyway, that's just information I've learned in the last quarter century.
All right, any other comments? Okay, then I'll entertain a motion to adjourn this portion of the meeting.
Second.
All right, we are adjourned until 6 o'clock. Second, let's vote on it. All in favor? Aye. Any noes? All right, now we're adjourned. I'm going to remember this on the next round. Hey, if y'all want to take a seat, we'll get started again. Yes, let's go. This group is too cold and unfriendly. Yeah. Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and start, and if you would, let's stand and salute our flag. The flag is back. Now, a moment of silence, please. Amen. Okay, again, I will entertain a motion to adopt the agenda. So moved, Commissioner Widmer.
Second.
Second, Commissioner Alexander. Do I hear a second? Or do I hear, yeah, a third? Okay, everybody that votes yay, say yay.
Yay.
Better not say nay. Okay, passes. All right, Savannah is joining us via Zoom because she has tested positive for type A flu, and we said, don't come close. Are you feeling better, Savannah? Uh-oh, we can't hear you.
You're muted.
We will read her lips. Can anybody lip read?
Go ahead and speak, Savannah.
Can everyone hear me?
There
Yeah.
you go. Now you got
Okay.
it. Now you got it. Okay, Savannah, welcome. I'm sorry you're ill, and thank you for propping yourself up to meet with us.
Thanks, everyone.
Okay, I'll start with the mayor's communications, which I have none, and then the consent agenda. Savannah?
Yes, so the consent agenda is just two sets of minutes, the January 9th public forum meeting minutes and the January 9th town council meeting minutes.
Okay, thank you.
And, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say you can go ahead with the town manager's communications.
Okay, I don't really have anything, not too much to share, other than we are working with our consultants on all of our FEMA worksheets and getting reimbursement submitted. Things are going really well. It is a slow process, but having those consultants, it's been invaluable. So that's going very well.
Thank you. Okay, we've got the administrative reports that are in your packet. Does anybody have any comments?
I know there was some question about production versus income on the water. And we're going to look into that. I don't have an explanation for that tonight, but that's something we're going to investigate on our end.
I'll just elaborate on that. The income, well, the production for this month, January, was up 24% over the same period last year, but the income was actually down 17% over the same period last year. So it's an inverse relationship that we just need to figure out what's going on with that.
Okay, so we'll look for an update then next month. Is that right, Savannah?
Yes, that's correct.
Barry says it's water leaks.
Yes, sir. We had several water leaks due to the big freeze that we just had, and we found several houses that were leaking out. Instead of leaking on the homeowner's side, it was actually frozen, busted on our side of the service. So that gap that you're seeing right there is probably going to go into our unaccounted water loss when we do the water loss report, usually at the beginning of the year.
Okay, and it could it be 1 million gallons? Because that's what the difference is. That's the delta.
It's going to be quite a bit, because one of our houses actually was, Jared figured one of the places that tap was 200,000 gallons is what we were losing, because he monitors on our computer at the shop when the wells run, and he can usually pick up pretty quick when we've got a leak of some sort going on. And like I say, we had several that were actually on our side of the tap this time, which is really rare, but with the hard freeze that we had, it was possible. But I can get Jared to look into that a little closer too, get us a little tighter number of what he thinks the water loss was.
Okay, great, thanks.
That would explain kind of the excess production, but the decrease in income, do we think just fewer people in town, or? Yeah.
Yeah, I do
Are we
think,
booking the income on billing or upon receipt? Because it'd be a 30-day lag, so you might not be booking the income for the same month you're registering the water. There may be a month delay. Just
But we had the same problem the previous month, and we talked about that as well last month. So it's been a consistent problem.
Okay, any other
And
comments?
can I just say, it's a major source of income for us, so that's why I think it's really important that we get to the bottom of it. Barry, when you, in your administrative report, when you give the production numbers, the amount of gallons from the wells, does that usually translate to what we sold if there wasn't any water loss?
In a perfect world, if there wasn't any water loss, and if you took the, several factors like meter wear or all that out, in a perfect world, that would be what we would bill. Yes, sir. And that comes straight from the well sheets that we have to pull monthly to fill out our sheets for the state.
Thanks.
Okay, any other comments, questions? All right, we'll move on to public comment. Do you have anybody that would like to come up at this time? Okay, with no old business, we'll move on to the new business, and the first one is an amendment to the tree board ordinance. Amendment, Savannah?
yes, so this is a minor amendment to the tree board ordinance, and it is just increasing their at-large membership by 2 members. That will help, as folks are maybe out of town or not able to attend meetings, to make sure that they are able to meet and have a quorum. So that it kind of solves that issue, but also just gets more people involved in tree board, which I think is a good thing. So very minor revision on that, but that's the change.
Okay, would anybody like to make that motion?
I'll move approval of the amendment.
Do I hear a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, that amendment passes. Okay, then,
I moved, Jane seconded.
don't let that happen again, Angie. Okay, the next item on the agenda is a member appointment to the tree board. Savannah?
So now that we have 2 new spaces on our tree board, we need to appoint some members. We had applications from Ann Benson and Elizabeth Hamilton. And I think that they would both make great members of tree board. And yes, I'll leave it to your discussion from there.
Okay, Elizabeth's here tonight, so thank you for agreeing to serve. Would anybody like to make that motion?
I will move that we appoint Elizabeth Hamilton and Ann Benson as members of the tree board of the 2 slots we just created.
Thank you, Commissioner Blake. Second?
Second.
Any discussion?
I'll just say they've been attending meetings, the last couple of meetings, even though we didn't even have 2 new slots. But as Savannah said, they're going to be great new members in additions to the
Yeah,
board.
we appreciate everybody that serves on our boards. Okay, all in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Can I just make one more comment?
Sure.
Elizabeth's husband, Clay, was appointed to the Planning and Zoning. Is that right, Clay? Last month. So, and they just moved here permanently, not many months ago, and we really appreciate the way they've both jumped in with both feet, literally.
We should have Angie warn people when they come in to, if they're moving here, if you're new in town, be careful. This will get you. Okay, well, thank you. Okay, the next is a budget amendment, number 5, Savannah.
Yes, so this is a budget amendment to move funds into Fund 29, which is our Hurricane Helene Recovery Fund. As you all know, we've had a lot of expenses, and so we're doing our best to, keep work moving along as we are able. So this budget amendment will move Alberto funds, which are the funds we received now that we've finally closed. Now that we finally closed with FEMA, the Tropical Storm Alberto project, we have those funds, and we would like to transfer those into Fund 29. We also would like to transfer $40,000 from fund balance to Fund 29. We have about $13,000 in donations that we would like to transfer into Fund 29. And then from Fund 25, which was a culvert project, this money was left over from that project, I believe. Rachel's there, can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe this money was left over from that project, and we would like to move that into Fund 29 as well.
Okay, do I hear a motion to do so?
So moved.
A second?
A second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any discussion?
Rachel, it just drives me crazy to think that you have to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 journal entries for each transfer.
Yeah, I heard you. I'm right here, Tom. We're going to have this conversation later. It does. It is a lot. And to actually follow and, yeah. It's a lot.
I had to have a meeting with Savannah on Monday. She says, would you please explain? Rachel wasn't here. I said, Rachel's not here. Somebody's got to explain this. I got to know what's happening. I know where it starts and I know where it ends, but I can't figure out how it got there.
Okay, did we vote on it yet? All in favor? We did? I think it passed. All right. We've got budget amendment number 6, Savannah.
Yes, so this one is, this is another hurricane-related budget amendment, but it's a little bit different. In order to fully execute our contract with our consultants, Withers Ravenel, for their work, we have to encumber the funds for Rachel to be able to pre-audit the contract. And that's a requirement of the state that contracts get pre-audited. And essentially what it is Rachel certifying that we have the money to pay the amount that we've agreed upon in the contract. So after some back and forth, the Withers Ravenel have given us an estimate of what they think their services will be for 1 year. They're estimating $65,000. Of course, that's reimbursable expense through FEMA. However, we do need to encumber those funds, and that's so that Rachel can pre-audit the contract and certify that, in the extremely unlikely case that we do not get reimbursed, we do have the money to pay for their services.
Okay. All right. Does anybody want to make that motion?
I'll move approval.
A second?
I'll second it.
Okay, any discussion? All right, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes. All right, and this is the easy thing I've got to do. I just say, Savannah?
All right, so this is exciting and more of a positive note. The town of Sunset Beach reached out to Chief Eaton and asked if we would be interested in receiving a donated police vehicle from them. This was a volunteer unit that they had. It hasn't been in service in a little while, but it's a 2017, so not a super old vehicle. They are offering to donate that to us. It'll take very little to get it into service. We would just need to, have it striped and then swap out some amber lights for some blue lights. But I think we have those blue lights on hand. And then, of course, title and registration and all of that, but minimal to get it into service. Our fleet is aging. We've had a lot of mechanical issues, so this is really exciting to be able to bring a newer vehicle on board at virtually no cost to us. So this is just a resolution to accept the donation from Sunset Beach.
Great. Okay, do I hear a motion?
I move to approve the resolution to accept the donated police vehicle.
A second?
Second.
Discussion? This is really a sweet gift. Appreciate that.
Remember them when you want to take a vacation to the beach.
Okay, all in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion passes. Time for public comment again. Does anybody wish to comment? And we have 2 comment sections so that if we've gone over anything that you would like to comment on since the last public opportunity, you have a chance to do so. Okay, not seeing any, we'll go to Commissioners' Communications. Tom, anything? Jane?
Let's see. I'm the liaison for the Montreat Cottagers, and I just want to say that in March, on March the 13th and March the 20th, March the 13th at 2 o'clock and March the 20th at 2 o'clock, there will be a Montreat Cottager special, and there'll be a notice of reschedule membership voting procedure review committee meeting. And you can go in person, and there's also Zoom. So when you're thinking into your March calendar, you might want to put these on there.
Okay, anything, Mason?
I just can't let the opportunity pass to thank every person on our staff. It's just incredible what they continue to do day in and day out. And I just want to report to them that I have people all the time complimenting you all and expressing their gratefulness for all that y'all have done. And certainly we're all grateful.
Grant? No. I don't see it on the list of dates to remember, but we're having a party. What's the date of our party? 25th.
From 4 to
6.
25th from 4 to 6. Do you need anything, cookies or?
All the above.
All right, if you're.
It's a town hall reopening party.
Yeah, it's a reopening party. We may have the rest of the carpet by then. And they're going to clean here on Saturday, clean and wash the windows, so this place is going to look a lot different come Monday morning. All right, and we thank everybody for the hard work trying to get back in this building. Okay, so don't forget that date. Other dates to remember, and all of these are available by Zoom and meet in the town hall. Planning and zoning will meet on Thursday, February 25th at 10:30. Board of Adjustment will meet, their February meeting has been canceled. Land Care will meet Wednesday, March 5th at 9 a.m. Tree Board will meet Tuesday, March 11th at 9. The March Town Council meeting will be Thursday, March 13th at 6 o'clock here with public forum at 5:30. And the Board of Adjustment will meet Thursday, March 27th at 5. That's all I've got. So do I hear a motion to adjourn?
You bet.
All right, I was hoping somebody would join in there. Second?
A second.
Everybody in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Disagree? Go home. We're adjourned. Thank you.
You got a new job.